Eric, I just got word that there's a bad accident on the 417 that's causing delays. And so I know one of my folks is going to be about 20 minutes late. So
Okay.
just FYI, maybe like
Okay.
a little late.
Good. Turn up volume.
I've got everything right here.
Yep.
Okay,
Got you.
thank you. Good.
Call the meeting in order.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to MetroPlan Orlando's TSMO meeting. I'm calling the meeting to order now. My name is Brian Sanders from the great county of Orange. I'll be chairing this meeting today in place of Chairman Shad Smith. This meeting is in person, and it's important for all TSMO members to join us in person. It's also important. I'm sorry. So we can have a quorum. Members of the public will still be able to participate via virtual connection through Zoom. There are 2 points in the meeting for making public comments. If you came in public, you could fill out a speaker's card, and those attending on Zoom can use the raise hand function. We also accept comments by email and by phone. At this time, the chairman has no additional comments, and I'd like to recognize Mr. Eric Hill for the MetroPlan staff for the agenda review.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, members. Happy New Year. Good to see you all here, and good to see folks in the audience. Some former people that served on this committee. Corey Quinn was a representative in a chair of this committee at one point. And our friend in the back there who left us from Osceola County, or the city of Kissimmee, it's back in the bill. But it's good to have you back joining us for this meeting. Mr. Chairman, the agenda is set. I do want to ask at the end of the meeting, since we don't have any presentations, to be able to brief the committee on our TSMO master plan. We did have our third meeting on Tuesday afternoon, but just to give you a report out on just 2 of the items that we covered at that meeting, and have a discussion on connected vehicle data. That was something we discussed as part of that meeting, but just to have a brief discussion on setting the stage for that. And I want to also encourage folks to hang around for the TAC meeting. We're gonna have a review on the Sunshine Law. That's something that we all, or you all, including me, have to operate under. I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble. So if you are inclined and you have time to hang around. And also at this point, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recognize Ms. Vianga with MetroPlan Orlando staff, who's going to share with us some information about our annual report.
Sounded like you were forgetting my name. Leilani. My name is Leilani Vianga, and I'm the communications coordinator here at MetroPlan Orlando. So today I'm here to present our annual report. Everybody has it in front of them. Yeah, the annual report and also Post-its that go with it. So we're really excited about this product. We do it every year. The main difference about it is that we've condensed a lot of the information into a 5-minute read. That itself is very exciting to me. And it's very colorful, people-friendly. You guys are mentioned on one of the pages in Tapping into Tech on page 13. We talk about how we're kicking off the TSMO master plan, and we also talk about the retiming traffic signals in there as well. In the back, we also want you guys to, if you see right here, there's a QR code. When you guys have a chance, go ahead and scan it. our Commissioner Uribe, she is our board chair. She created a video message for us. And it's about 1 minute and 40 seconds. So when you get a chance, go home and you're reading through it, make sure you go ahead and scan the QR code so that you can watch the video. And we're also going to be doing something fun where we're going to pit you guys against the other committees. CAC they're really, excited. They think they're going to beat you guys. So hopefully you guys are going to change that. But we want you guys to share this, physical copies or the copies online. We share this on our social media channels. You guys can also reshare a lot of our content. And I will be back the next time to share who the winner is, and whichever committee has the largest percentage of percentages of shares will win a prize. I will not say what the prize is, but it's a good one. So hopefully when I come back, I'll have good news for you guys. So if you guys have any questions, you can let me know and I'll be here. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Leilani, just for the record, the CAC is a larger committee than this committee, right? So they have an unfair advantage. don't
They do, but like the more shares that you have, like the more, so if you went home and you shared it 10 times, that counts as 10 towards your percentage.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, with that, Mr. Chairman, oh, one thing, I forgot. Before the roll call, ITS Florida calendars. Should have one at your desk, they're all at the table. In case you are still a person who uses a paper calendar. These are nice calendars and keeps you apprised of what's going on in the ITS world. That's it, Mr. Chairman. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Smith for the roll call.
Yes, good morning. Atkins. Barden,
Here.
Bates,
Present.
Carson. Doig. Edie. El Hassar,
Present.
Elliott Moore. Felblinger. Giovinazzo. Herschelman. Homiani,
Present.
Hudson. Jameson,
Present.
Dredge. Kane. Krug. Lim,
Here.
Margraf. Pulliam. Richmond. Sanders,
Here.
Sonorans,
Here.
Kittner for Smith.
Here.
Toussaint. Wetzel.
Here.
Mr. Chair, that concludes the roll call and we do have a quorum.
Okay, now we're going to hear public comment on our action items. Kathy, do we have anyone online?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. There are no hands raised online.
Okay. Mr. Hill, have we received any emails or phone calls on any items?
We have not, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we'll move on to the action items. We have 3 action items today. Members making a motion or a second, please state your name. The first action item is approval of the December 2nd TSMO meeting minutes. And- Okay,
Second, Ramon Centerins.
okay, very good. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. This is a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, the motion passes. The second item is FDOT amendment to fiscal year 22-23 to 26-27 TIP and tab 2. I'm going to recognize Mr. Jason Sorrentino from Metro Plan Orlando. Go ahead.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, committee members. My name's Jason Sartorio with Metro Plan Orlando, I'm the transportation planner here. And I'll be taking over for Keith Caskey as the man at the podium. This morning, I have a total of 9 tip amendments for you. Additional information regarding these amendments is located in tab 2 of your agenda packets. To start off with, I have 3 projects for their transit projects and services through the Section 5310 program. The funds for Links and Aspire Health Partners are for operating costs in fiscal year 2022-2023. And the funds for the Opportunity Center, Inc. are for capital improvements in fiscal year 2022-2023. In addition, we have 2 amendments due to cost increases, construction estimates. The first of those is for a bridge replacement project on Buck Road over the Little Econ River in Orange County. And the second of these amendments is for construction of a segment of the Shingle Creek Trail from John Young Parkway to Pleasant Hills Road in the city of Kissimmee. Finally, we have 4 new FDOT projects. The first of these is for an operation safety project for cameras for pedestrian and bike detection on movable bridges throughout Orlando and Daytona. The second and third of these amendments are for operation safety projects to add rumble stripes at various locations and roadways throughout Orange, Osceola, and Seminole counties. And the last of these amendments is for a project that received federal grant funding to implement the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program. The project will deploy direct current fast charging stations along alternate fueling corridors. Specifically, phase 1 of this project will include a location along I-4 in Seminole County at mile marker 104. As I mentioned earlier, you have some additional information regarding these amendments located in tab 2 of your agendas. With that being said, unless there are any questions, we are asking for your recommendation of approval of these amendments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sartorio. Is there any questions for Jason? No, hearing none. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve Ramon Centerins.
Second, Kane.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion passes. All right, the third item is federal performance measure targets, support for FDOT statewide and links targets. This is a request for resupport of FDOT's performance targets, as well as targets in the Links Transit Asset Management Plan. It's Alex. Alex is here. He's right up there.
Brian, good morning. Everyone, good morning. So this is that time of the year, every year, where we talk about performance measures, especially those federally required. So Nick, typically traditionally I've given this presentation, but as a little bit of a background, the federal performance measures were really rooted in MAP 21, continued in the FAST Act, and Federal Highway FTA has continued those as part of the more recent IIJA or bipartisan infrastructure law. So performance-based planning as we know it is continuing. So nothing will change as it relates to our work, as it relates to that topic. Again, we have to monitor and report, and most importantly, revisit our targets, resupport those targets annually and every other year for some of the other non-safety targets. But we've taken it traditionally to bring them up annually, especially the federal ones, and support them by resolution. You'll see that in tab 3 of your agenda packets, some supplemental information, including that board resolution, which is how we actually go ahead and support the statewide links as well as the Sunrail performance targets. And we've done this since 2018. So again, a reminder about which those performance measures are: safety, bridge, and pavement condition specific to the interstate highway and state highway systems. Similarly, for travel time reliability and truck travel time reliability, these measures are only applicable to the interstate and national highway system facilities, transit asset management, which I'll talk about more in a second, for Sunrail as well for links. And the newest of the federal measures is transit safety, which is a subset focus of safety operations on the relating to transit operations, as well as transit system reliability. So they're looking at a measure of operational reliability. Ties back to TAM service planning, but also just another reliability measure, one of the newer ones that we actually adopted as part of our 2045 MTP. So with that, I'm going to talk about each of the measures individually. If you have any questions, do my very best to field those. But we have a really smart group of kind of engineers and technical planners here. So I think y'all are familiar with most of these equations, but safety is first and foremost our first PM performance measure 1. We are recommending and continuing the Vision Zero for safety. Our board's adopted that since 2018. As it relates to bridge and pavement condition, again, applicable only to the interstate highway and national highway system. These are our 2- and 4-year targets. We talk about this and report this every year as part of our transportation improvement program, as part of the TIP. So that's also cited in your board action fact sheet. So what you'll see there, just giving some context, is that we're actually doing really well, and we've accomplished all of our planning. We're within all of our targets, under all of the targets. So as we know, DOT takes money off the top of the work program to maintain infrastructure. So we know the state of Florida has a really quality asset management relating to bridge and pavement conditions. Travel time reliability, again, looking the first two focus on auto or all trip reliability. The third one is specific to cargo carrying truck travel time reliability. Really, the third one there focuses on resolving, mitigating congestion bottlenecks relating to truck tractor trailers. So similarly, relating to all these measures, we are so we're accomplishing all of our performance targets. You will see some variability in the data, with 2020, with 2019, kind of with that normal year, 2020 as things kind of went pandemic, 2021, a little kind of surge. And as we kind of come back to normalcy, we're going to be tracking these performance measures as we actually get a few years of, kind of more kind of usual data. Transit asset management. This is for Sunrail. I know many of you sit on the Sunrail Technical Advisory Committee, and the TAM was presented recently. It's a relatively new system as we know it. So based on the useful life of these vehicles and the targets they have set, they're definitely accomplishing those. As it relates to the links asset management, they're finalizing this reporting for the National Transit Database, but these are the performance targets as adopted. Excuse me. And then the last one, this is the newest of the performance categories, transit safety and system reliability. As you can see, focus on Vision Zero. So that's consistent with the overarching safety performance measure. But then they actually get into the realities of operating a transit service, and they have to provide those targets by mode. And based on the different modal operations that Links provides, they provide the targets for each of those, and that's based on their analysis of actual injuries and kind of looking at kind of the trend of based on their operations. Similarly, that last one, system reliability, it's another way of looking at kind of the actual operational reliability relating to the mechanical failure of the fleet. So that one's doing pretty good as well. So with that, as I mentioned before, we do adopt in support of our statewide, of our DOT's statewide targets, as well as in support of Sunrail's transit asset management targets, as well as Lynx's TAM and system performance. So with that, we are requesting a motion today. And if you have any questions, again, that's what I'm here for. Mr. Chair.
I had one question on your last slide for the system reliability. Is that roughly 14,000 miles that we're saying before a vehicle needs maintenance? And that's the target that we're going for? Do we have numbers of what they're actually getting now? Or I don't know if that's a good number or a bad number to target, I guess is what I'm trying to
I would defer to Doug, if he's comfortable speaking to it, if not, I may have to wait for Miles or someone, for Pat the response. So you speak to that at all before I?
As far as the target, it's a good target. Where we're currently achieving with that, I am not familiar with to just speak at this point.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Make a motion.
I'm
to-
sorry. I'm ready to.
Brian, I'll make a motion to approve.
I appreciate that. Do I have a second?
Kane, second.
Now, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we have no presentations today. There are 3 common presentations with the TAC meeting. That includes the TSMO master plan, the Sunshine Law refresher, and Castleberry's Winter Park Drive complete street study. General information is located in tab 4 of your packets. In terms of upcoming meeting interests, our next TSMO meeting be held in person Friday, February 24th. The next Metro Plan Board meeting will be February 8th in person as well. Are there any committee members with any final comments to make? Seeing none. I guess this is the call for public comments again. Is that right, Eric?
Yes.
Kathy, do we have anyone online wishing to speak?
There are no hands raised on the virtual side, Mr. Chair.
Okay, anyone in the audience? I see no one jumping to the podium. Eric, did you have a
Yes.
final comment?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I just wanted to just brief the committee on where we are with the TSMO master plan, as I mentioned earlier. We did have our 3rd meeting on Tuesday. We went and discussed the needs assessment as well as the regional ITS architecture. And I just want to brief you on where we are. And if you're hanging around for the TAC meeting, you'll see the same presentation I gave to you last month on the TSMO master plan. But at at our 3rd meeting, we discussed a needs assessment, and this was a programmatic gap analysis. And what the team did is use the federal capability maturity model. And I think some members may recall the region going through this model, this process a couple times. When they first came out with it about 10 years ago, we completed it. And it's a questionnaire, and it discusses TSMO operations or programs. And the 6 measures they look at is business processes, system and technology, performance measurement, organization and workforce, collaboration and culture. So we went through, as a region, we went through this process when they first developed it, and we went through it a second time to see if we have made progress, which we did. And so the team, Kimberly Horn, decided to use the same type of process and just getting a sense of where we are as a jurisdiction, where each of the jurisdictions are in terms of what they would like to have, where they want to be, and then some strategies on how we get there. So that was most of the discussion. We also went into a discussion on the regional ITS architecture. And for those that are familiar with the architecture, it is a graphic. It's referred to as the sausage diagram. And it is a blueprint on where we are as a region in terms of each of the agencies, their services, their systems, how they're connected internally, but how they're connected within the region. This is a requirement by the federal government in order for us to use their funds for ITS or TSMO projects. In addition to that, we did have some additional discussion on a few items. One was electric vehicles support, and that is pretty much a jurisdiction operation because jurisdictions have to deal with codes and ordinances to support an EV infrastructure. Work zones, because of construction, that is a safety issue, and how we can use technology, not only to alert drivers of safety zones or work zones and how they manage those work zones, but how we can provide safety to the workers in those work zones using technology. Equity is one that is getting pushed by the federal government, by USDOT. It is something that most agencies are trying to develop or work with. And I believe that many of you have heard me tell the story of USDOT, former USDOT Secretary Anthony Fox talk about in the 20th century, the interstate system separated his community in Charlotte from downtown Charlotte. And he implored us not to allow in the 21st century, not to allow technology to do that. And so as we evolve in this area, we will need to pay more attention to communities that have been disadvantaged in the past and how what we're developing in the TSMO world will impact these communities, not only relieve burdens, but create opportunities for communities like this. Okay, and the last item was connected vehicle data. That is starting to get a lot of attention with the type of vehicles that are now being produced. And we had some discussion, or it was recommended that we have some discussion as part of the TSMO master plan on how we set ourselves up so that as these vehicles start to be mass produced and become more prevalent in our communities, how we're able to use the data that they're generating, but also how the infrastructure is going to communicate with these vehicles as well. So, Mr. Chairman, I will defer to some of the members on the committee, on the steering committee, Akil, Hazem, Brian, Charlie, Lindsay over there. Am I missing someone? Doug, I'm sorry, Doug. I'll defer to the members if they would like to add to anything I just spoke to. No? Okay. Did a pretty good job. Okay. Mr. Chairman.
Okay, if there's no further business, we stand adjourned.